Man, the world is on some other shit, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now, man. The world is on some other shit. And I know everybody else feel it. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think it is. It's just an effort to rebalance itself again. And before the calmness, you know what I mean, there's gonna be a lot of chaotic stuff. It's almost like a sickness. You know, you're gonna start feeling worse before you start feeling better almost. You know, because it's a cleansing process. Excuse the noise, I know there's gonna be some airplanes buzzing. Surprisingly enough, Boeing's on strike over here. You know, that ain't gonna stop people from taking flight that got planes and stuff like that, but yeah, it's definitely been a rebalancing that's going on. That's what I've been feeling. You know, if you want to coin certain people and individuals as fitting certain things in life, you know, I'm what they would consider a chosen one, for sure. All the stuff I done been through in my life, and you know, the intelligence and wisdom and the perspective that God has given me, the Most High has developed within me. I know, you know, I'm definitely set apart from the masses. And so just to touch on what I feel like is like most of the rebalancing, you'll even see it with like the masculine women, you know what I'm saying? The men that are acting hella feminine. It's just an imbalance of stuff that's going on worldwide. I don't know. I ain't really up to all that shit. I don't watch the news or nothing, but definitely in my environment here in Seattle, you feel it. It's almost like everybody just becomes bums, you know what I mean? As far as just like the lack of awareness, the lack of care for others. They don't even care for themselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't taking care of themselves. Everybody's trying to be first. Everybody's trying to outdo each other, competing and comparing. You know, especially in traffic, I notice it. That's why I've been trying to, you know, stay away from the road, because it's just, you know, road rage definitely is going to be on an all-time high if I get up out here, man. So that's why I try to just stay away and just protect my energy, man. And that's what I definitely recommend to those of us that are chosen ones, those of us with the innate ability to understand life on a different level. You know, and also, this is prime time for those of us that have acquired the knowledge of semen retention. I look pretty young, but I'm 40 years old. And I found this practice back when I was 17, you know, doing some time. I did a couple years for a robbery. And through that process of doing that 2 years, man, I was on a mission for just self-improvement. You know, I wanted to better myself in so many aspects. How I spoke, you know, how I acted, you know, how just my whole character in general. And when I did that, I happened upon the semen retention. Didn't even know what it was. Didn't even have a name for it or nothing. I didn't know about the Hindu philosophies and, you know, religions and practices or nothing like that. I had just picked up a book, the autobiography of Malcolm X. And, you know, I wanted to emulate that man so much because of, you know, the similar struggle that we had and just the outcome and what that produced within him. And he was just a mastermind in using his mind. And so, you know, I wanted to get the N word out of my vocabulary. And so it was very, it was a conflict. You know, I didn't know it was that deeply ingrained within me, you know, to where I even, when I wanted to stop saying it, still happened to catch myself saying it. And it was just over a concentrated effort and a consistent effort that I was able to finally rid myself of saying the N-word, every other word, like the rest of my peers were doing. And that graduated to wanting to conquer my sexual urges as well, because I seen all the other inmates slaves to it. You know, I mean, they was willing to fuck anything. We got a new cook, we got a new CO. They was ready to fuck anything, man. And so I just looked on that in disgust. You know, on my self-improvement journey, it just didn't make sense. And it seemed very weak to me. And I conquered that. You know, that was within the first 30 days of my incarceration, and for the rest of that 2 years, didn't participate in any of that vulgar behavior. You know, that low frequency behavior. Then I went to prison a couple years later after that for a couple more years, but I went straight off into that practice, you know. And so I've gone 2 years, 2 different occasions at a young age prior to the knowledge of it, doing semen retention. And so with that, you know, I definitely know that I'm one of the pioneers out here as far as the knowledge is concerned, and being a practitioner of it and reaping the benefits. And now that I see that it's become a big thing, I'm able to go back and look and see all those benefits that they're now talking about. They was real in my life. It was really real, you know. And so I think, like I said, you know, the rebalancing is going on right now, and it's going to be those of us that have had that discipline and the courage, man, the strength, the resilience to, even when you so-called relapse or you fall short of reaching the goals that you set, you know what I'm saying, you're able to dust yourself off and try again and become men. And that's what the world is lacking, and I think that's where the major imbalance is. God created us. I'm not trying to get all religious. I'm not even really religious at all. I definitely understand all the practices and the books. I've read them all, and you know, and I'm very aware of a lot of the things that are in them. But I like to piece together everything because I believe they all have within them sacred knowledge and hints and clues to the overall message that's been trying to be given to us, you know, from the higher power, from the spiritual world, you know. So that's where I align with the most, is just being spiritual, getting these downloads, you know what I mean, and sharing them, uploading them to somebody else's mind, you know, that's capable of understanding and ready to receive them. But right now, if you look at some of my past videos about nature is rebalancing itself right now, and that's why it seems so crazy. The best thing that you can do is balance yourself. You know, if we are the world, for those of us that's spiritual, and you understand, you know, the idea of everything is us and we are everything, you know, it's a shared consciousness. If you understand that, then you understand that by having a desire to change the world must start with you. You got to start with disciplining yourself. You can't get mad at the world. You can't want to change everything externally, and you can't even do it yourself. You know what I mean? And the semen retention is one of those things where once you realign with yourself, you're able to see life the way that it really is. You're able, now you have something to work with. Now you can see. You can see the easel. You can see the picture. You can see the canvas. In order to start the work. My bad. Because this world is your canvas. You know, but as an artist, you need to have that creative eye and that understanding of what it is that you're trying to paint, you know, and how to go about doing it, you know. And so, just for me, just my experience going through all this, it's brought me to that understanding that that's where the work initially needs to start, you know, with yourself. And, you know, definitely being a man, you know, that's the example. It's in a park right now, people walking around. But you definitely start with that. That's the realignment. You know what I mean? And the refinement of not only your body, but your mind, you know what I'm saying? And the spirit shall follow. You know what I mean? And when you have that drive to become better, you know what I mean? All these things they're saying is making sense, because I lived this back before I even had before you had cell phones. You know what I'm saying? It's so accessible, and you know what I mean? Like, I remember back in the day, we used to have the cell phones where you only had the snake game, where you gotta press the button and it goes the other direction, press the button and go, and you know, stuff like that. It's definitely different, you know what I mean? So, that's, we got people walking in the park right now, hold on. So, you know, it's definitely about, like I said, the realignment and refinement, you know what I'm saying, of the internal workings. And I found that once you do that, everything starts being clear. The vision, the path, the understanding, the way that you can respond, and the solutions to the problems maybe that you have or that you see around you, they become clear. They show themselves. You know, but until you can master yourself, you can't master nothing else. So if you're feeling unaligned and all that stuff, it's because you are. You know what I mean? But don't look at the wrong thing. Don't miss the spectacle. You know? I remember Bruce Lee said it in Enter the Dragon. You know, he was having a talk, you know, and then one of his students had come across the bridge and he had to take a break from this conversation, and he went to go teach his student something, and he had pointed to the air. And the student looked at the finger, and Bruce Lee slapped him. You know, don't concentrate on the finger. You're missing the whole spectacle. You know, and when you're looking at all these external problems that's going on, you're missing a solution, because it's an internal viewing that needs to happen, not an external judgment call that you need to make, if that makes sense. So, as much as this torments my heart to see people in a sickly way in life, and it feels just like a mania going on, I'm actually confident and faithful that, you know, this is for the betterment of all of us. And it's just like the animal kingdom. It's just like I forgot what his name is, but it's the survival of the fittest. It's the airplane. I'm trying to wait for it to pass. It's the survival of the fittest, you know. And only you know, the stronger are gonna survive, you know. So it's a process of elimination that's going on right now. Those of us that's not intelligent is not gonna survive that long. Those of us that's not in physical shape, good physical shape, you're gonna fall by the wayside too. And not just physical, but mental and spiritual. All the stuff has to be aligned. You know what I mean? You're out here giving up all your energy. You're not even spiritually aligned. You're gonna die out here, man. That's what right now. It's the tables is turning. You know, you're coming to a crossroads right now, and you gotta choose, man. And that's all it is. You gotta pick a side. It's just like the Star Wars, man. You know, you gotta protect your light, man. You gotta protect your force, man, or you gonna go by the wayside, and you see the majority of them they ain't even aware of it. So, if you've been blessed enough to even have that awareness, you're doing better than most. And now it's your duty, it's your obligation to use that awareness to progress, past what you're doing, and to make conscious efforts to just build, you know, and don't worry about nobody else. This is a self-preservation time. And I'm not saying don't help nobody. I'm not saying that. I'm saying go internally and understand that the work starts with you. That's how this shit's gonna change, man. If everybody in the world picked up their garbage after they was done, there would be no trash in the world. So we don't need to come up with these big pollution schemes, how to get polluted. You know what I'm saying? So you're thinking way past the solution, because it's the simplest answers that's gonna make the difference. It's gonna change. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just rambling right now. It feels good to be out here anyway. Away from motherfuckers for the most part. Really can't get away in the city. Anyway, man, I just want to shoot that little shit. I ain't made a video in a minute, so take some time to isolate yourself, you know, chosen ones, and learn yourself. Feel what you're feeling. Don't run from it. And get away from these vices. Get away from this smoking, these women, this drinking, these so-called partners, homies, and social circles that you're around that's bringing you down, man. Because that shit, that's the stuff that's misaligning you, man. And once you can conquer that, we'll start taking off, man. It's like these airplanes. So you gotta be careful, man, because another thing you say too is, as you become more aligned and more as you become more aligned and you become more elevated in like your frequency and your vibration and stuff like that, the tests become different. That's what I've noticed as well too. you have to fight the urge, the sexual urge. You have to fight and battle yourself, right? Just to, one second. You gotta fight and battle yourself to conquer those urges just to get on a streak of semen retention, right? But then what I've noticed too throughout all my journeys and stuff, is I take notes, is once you kind of acquired that, the challenges become different, right? So now, you've somewhat mastered the sexual urge. Cool. Now you have to master yourself in a different way. You have to master your aggression. You gotta master the feeling, because I felt it numerous times. I'm kind of being aware of it and kind of challenging myself to channel the energy that I have now, so you can't get big-headed. You know what I mean? You can't think that you're better than anybody because you are doing something better than people. You know what I mean? You have to shrink your head a little bit. And you have to be careful not to blow yourself up a little bit. That's a real part of the journey as well. You know what I mean? Because all of these energies are going to be coming, and you need to figure out how to filter them. This is a big responsibility to be on semen retention, and that's why the benefits are so plentiful and so abundant and so powerful if you can really align and do it the right way. So I'm gonna make some more videos later. I'm gonna try to chop this one up, take out some of these airplanes and shit like that. But appreciate y'all for listening, man, and peace and blessings. Deuces.